Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. We don't really care. Welcome to Vagabond Nerds, reminding you that if you're going to try to take over Area 51, please bring some Reese's Pieces.
What happened?
Have you not heard about this?
Why? No.
So,
I'm all fully divested from the news. I don't know what's happening.
Apparently, there's a movement going on that on September 20th, they can't stop all of them if we bum rush Area 51.
This sounds like a bad plan.
It's a bad plan. Jason, what do you think about it, bud?
It sounds like a very bad plan.
As we were discussing in the car, there are several major tactical issues to this. One is, even if you don't believe that there's alien technology and alien weapons, I'm certain that by telling them when and where you're going to attack is a really bad idea. This is the military. There is a shoot-on-sight order. I'm just saying a couple of mounted machine guns, and you're going to have a really long day.
All right, let me ask the question: How do you know there's a shoot on site order? Have you?
That's actually
a known thing.
Yeah, that's a known thing. Like on the posting, like for the gate.
That's just a base. That's just a base rule. That's like if anybody's rushing our base, we're gonna.
Well, and that's the thing, though.
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly.
Russian base.
There you go.
Thanks.
But there's actually a sign, like people, because there's an absolute fence, and there's a sign that says, "You will be shot beyond this site."
Gotcha.
So
God, I hate when you talk with your hands.
I know.
Okay.
But that's why I do it. And
Fair
so
enough.
it's like you're telling them when and where you're going to attack. Even, let's assume they don't have these giant laser ray guns and crap.
So I don't think they have the giant laser.
How do you know it's Area 51?
I really don't think they do.
Hold on. We actually do have laser weapons, so that's in development now.
But do you
No, I know that, but I don't think they're as sophisticated as we would believe them to be.
But here we go.
Disagree.
If the whole point is to rush this base because they're trying to find all the alien technology, should any of them be shocked and amazed when they all get vapored?
Vapored?
Yeah.
Iced.
Vaporized.
Okay.
Well, I think my favorite meme was actually from Michael Mott, a friend of mine who's actually been on Ancient Aliens. He has the poster for Barbarella, and it's and the tag just says, when bum rushing Area 51 goes a little bit better than you planned, and you don't know where you are.
You don't know where you are.
Sean, what are we talking about today, man? It's not Area 51.
I think we were going to delve into some...
That was a great game, though, by the way.
Some Spider-Man issues. What?
Area
51? Yeah, that was...
bum rushing Area 51 would be a lot more interesting if that's
what
was happening.
I think what are we talking about today?
So I think we're getting into some Spider-Man.
We're getting into Spider-Man? Are we reviewing?
Homecoming. It's
Homecoming?
Far
from home.
Far from home.
Okay.
Far from Homecoming.
All right. Are we on a spoiler...
Spoiler free.
We're gonna do spoiler free.
I think we're gonna talk about a little bit of things, but I don't think we're definitely not giving. We shouldn't give away any endings or any. Wait, how long has this movie been out?
It's only been about.
It's like
10 days.
Is it 10 days? Because it came out it was last weekend.
Yeah. Not
actually,
quite.
it wasn't even last week. It was last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday.
Oh, weird.
So it's been about.
It's not quite 2 weeks,
not
but
quite
it's
2
been.
weeks. Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna do spoiler free
ish. We'll talk about some scenes.
Jason, we're looking at you, and hopefully. We're going to be able to get to Terminator. The original Terminator is coming up on 35 years, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So hopefully the last half we get to talk about that.
Yeah.
But we're going to start this first part with Far From Home, reviewing it. Spoiler free. Once again, Jason, spoiler free.
I make no promises.
Look me in the eyes when I talk to you.
What the?
Yeah, there you go. Good job. Good job.
Your phone.
I'm always impressed, sir.
Jeez.
The epitome of professionalism, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, just
Jason McLean.
Just doggone it, dude. Sometimes you just freaking need to sit there, okay? Sit there and just shut up.
Oh.
Anyway.
He looks a little sad.
Does he look a little sad?
He looks a little sad.
He's got a smile on his face.
He looks a little dejected.
Oh, what are you going to do?
He's going to grin and bear it.
How observant of you. Okay, so Spider-Man, Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
First, like we always do, let's go around. We like it, dislike it, unsure. Oh, wait. Before we start that, Jansen, how you doing this morning, bud?
I'm okay. How are y'all?
Good, man. Good to have you with us.
I appreciate you tolerating us today.
Yeah.
That's the on-air answer. He's like, I have to be in here with you three morons. How do you think I'm doing?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway, Sean, I'm going to ask you.
It's all right. I can bear with it.
There you go.
Good deal.
Bud.
Good deal.
I appreciate it. Nothing's unbearable for the show.
So no, it's completely bearable.
Yeah.
So I liked it. It was
Okay.
it was a fun movie. I know that Marvel said this was going to be the official end to Phase
Three.
of the first phase, right?
First 3 phases.
The end of Phase 3 to the first 10-year period.
Yes.
Okay. I honestly,
It's got to suck having a 10-year period.
dude, I don't know. Poor Marvel. That sucks.
Y'all didn't hear Jansen just go, ugh.
Yeah,
I think at a certain point you go with that cup thing instead of the
Diva Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, you just have to change it out too often.
Don't we just call that Kanye West? Anyway, go ahead. What?
Okay, so it did not feel like the end to... It felt like the beginning of another one. I really wish they had left Endgame as it was and not tried to say this was the last film in the series. To me, I just didn't feel it. It didn't feel that way.
You didn't feel like it was the last film for this?
I didn't feel like it was the last film for this first phase. I mean, for the first 10-year period.
You don't feel that it could have been like an epilogue to what had come prior?
Not at all.
Really?
See, I don't
I
disagree
liked
with
it,
you.
But
Yeah,
I liked it.
yeah.
So I mean, I don't want to. So we can dive into that here in a
Right,
minute
yeah,
since
yeah.
we're doing the whole "did you like it, did you not like it" kind of thing. But no, aside from that, I did like the movie. It was fun. I smiled. I laughed. Humor was great.
Touching moments.
There were some touching moments, and you know what? It felt like. It felt like reading a Spider-Man comic.
That was
So,
basically my personal response to.
Well, tell us how you feel. So what did you like it?
Yeah, I liked the movie. I loved it. In the review that I did for Movie Geek Feed, I think I said this is the don't even look at me like that, Ray. It is the most Spider-Man movie that has ever been, because it is like reading a Spider-Man.
But don't we
comic.
say that every single time?
Well,
the
every
next
time-
Spider-Man.
no,
comes out?
no, no, Amazing
and I will
Spider-Man
be
2.
I will be screw that. I will watch the Amazing Spider-Man series
I know that you're
over
always gonna
Raimi
go-
series.
I know you're always going to go back to that, and you know what? In hindsight,
I hated Raimi
look, but in
series.
hindsight, it was one of those things where when it first came out, people were more appreciative of the fact because they were like, "Ooh, they did a pretty decent
okay, hold on.
Spider-Man."
Jason-
That's the first that was ever really been in the full theater.
Jason was with me when I watched that for the first time, the very first Spider-Man in 2002.
Yes.
And I came out of that theater, and he remembers. He looked at me and goes, "Man, I can't believe it was great. What do you think?" And I was like,
I know. I heard the story. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did not.
Okay.
No.
No, yeah. Again, my thing on the Raimi trilogy, I think is what we're calling it now, is Spider-Man 2 is still one of the best comic book movies made. Spider-Man 1
For Raimi.
For Raimi. Well, but again, it's one of those things where we have to understand the comic book movies hadn't become what they are now. They were just
Good
movies. Bite me. Spider-Man 2 is still one of the best comic book movies ever made. Spider-Man 1 left a lot to be desired. In fact, I feel about Spider-Man 1 the same way I feel about Batman Begins, which is it needs... Don't look at me like that.
I'm just watching.
Anyway.
I'm
trying not to hit the table.
I'm focusing on you while
Yes.
you chat.
Thank you. Just trying not to hit the table. Anyway, Spider-Man 1 and Batman Begins, both to me are the same thing. They need the second one to make them better. But Spider-Man 2, I think, is one of the best. Amazing Spider-Man series, I was kind of okay with. I wish we could have gotten the Sinister Six movie just to round out that whole thing.
Right. No, I gotcha.
Overall, again, specifically for this movie, yes, I love this movie. It's the most Spider-Man we've ever seen.
Okay.
And again, there are scenes that look like they're straight out of the comic.
That's how. Yeah. Okay. Ray,
Um,
tell me how much you hated it.
No, I didn't. I look, I'm a huge Tom Holland fan at this point in time because to me he's Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's Peter Parker. He is everything that growing up and reading about it, including getting to the point where Bendis started his run. This is Spider-Man to me. So I'm all on board with this, and the movie was great. It had its moments. There are two pieces which we can't talk about because it would be spoilers, although I think everyone pretty much knows right now. One, I wasn't happy with a little bit of an acknowledgement to the past, and I'm going to put it that way. This comes at the.
Are you talking about? I know what you're talking
Yes,
about.
yes.
The report, right?
Yes.
Why were you
the.
not happy about that?
I'm just.
And I love that.
didn't-
I love that scene.
Again-
Didn't people say that was kind of like that endearing throwback to the fact that it existed?
Yeah, but I don't want to think about it existing.
I understand. Okay, so
There we go.
You have a personal.
It's not against the actor by any stretch of the imagination.
That was what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Can't we acknowledge the fact that guy was probably the best call for that role that we've
absolutely.
seen?
Yes. It just reminds me of a darker time.
A darker
It
time.
reminds me of a darker age.
Okay, geez, this is nitpicking. I think this is.
Oh, it is very.
Yeah,
Look,
this is
that's what we do on this show.
Well, I
But
know
that-
that,
I
but
wanna
this is
how they
but
know
this
us.
is the troll.
It's how they
level.
know you.
Hold on, this is the troll level.
It's not a
nitpick.
troll level. This is a personal thing.
This,
I'm
is,
not,
not, this is not my report.
I'm not sitting there saying that I am so frustrated that I'm taking to the web or whatever as I sit here and talk on the web. I'm just saying for me, it wasn't.
I will not take to the internet
I'm
to
not-
complain about this as I complain
Not
about it on
gonna
the internet.
Speak out about this on a podcast or
Look,
something where I
shut-
go, it was the worst part of
Shut
the
up!
entire movie.
I don't need the smirks
This
from
movie was
either one of you
amazing
guys.
until this
Except
event
for-
happened.
I can't even take you seriously right now,
Boycotting
Jason.
Spider-Man 3.
You don't look like you even have a soul right now. Okay, you're dead in the eyes.
My soul had died years and years ago working with you. You know it. Shut up.
That's why his eyes are so
Dude,
black.
You just oh my gosh, dude. Look, I'm not saying it
Love you,
was
Jason.
bad. I do
Love you too, Sean.
Don't do this on air. Don't do
No,
that
we're
on
fine.
air.
Yeah, we're good.
my
You're the one who's being the jerk right now.
Anyway, look, the bottom line is
I never said we were exclusive.
shut up. The bottom line is I am this close to beating the stuffing out of you. Do you understand me?
Please get on your
Yeah, just
ladder
you're
and
done.
try
Stop,
again.
stop,
Let's
stop.
go.
Anyway,
Let's just go.
no. So what it is I want to remove it from that time frame. So yes, in the moment I appreciate it. In hindsight, my biggest fear is that comes back later in the future, and I'm not a fan of that. I get why they do it. I get why they did it. I'm not against it. I just don't want to see it again.
Okay, I'm gonna go out on a Jason-sized limb here, because when I saw that,
It's not very big right now.
I thought about something, right? I was wondering what if this is their attempt at the idea of the multiverse? By the fact
yeah.
that he could exist in the same role, but in the different
Right.
ideas, different iterations, and I'm like, I don't expect them to come in and do something like that.
You're edging really close on spoiler.
I haven't said
territory.
anything.
I know.
Haven't said anything. But what if it was the multiverse thing? So, like I said, it's a Jason-sized limb. It's something that where
That limb is smaller, by the way.
where he goes into the whole thing's a tribute to Stephen King. Like I
But
get
to
it.
be fair,
right?
it does look like Jason's lost some weight.
Yeah, he does. He's
Yeah.
he's looking good, not as fluffy.
No.
So, anyways, I just thought about it when I was leaving the theater. I was like, man, I wonder if I was like, that could be a little nod to the idea of, because I mean, it could be a nod to that idea, right?
Which I understand what you're saying, and it could open up some other.
And I'm not, and
Some other
I
stuff.
don't think that we're gonna see anything of the old
Yeah.
crew coming in to do anything.
No, and
I really don't.
I
I
agree.
really don't. I just thought it was a kind of a interesting, could be a nod.
No, and I agree. In fact, that
You
was
know?
actually the thing when Ray had made his comment off air. There was one thing I thought was, I think this is the only time we see this. I think this is
I know. I think so too.
Yeah, because what Marvel has really tried to do once they've taken over Spider-Man is avoid all of the tropes that we've already seen in all the Sony movies. That's why Spider-Man Far From Home.
You love that word, man.
I do.
You always
Trope.
love tropes.
Trope.
Yeah.
Trope.
Anyways.
And blubber.
And blubber.
Beluga.
Flubber?
Flubber.
Maybe?
Anyway, but they've tried to avoid all of the things that Sony did, right? Like Spider-Man swimming through New York. Like
Can't
we
even
didn't-
look at you straight right now, Jason. Just shut up. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's
Continue.
doing fine.
He's so barbaric.
Well, I will be pillaging later.
Okay.
But like again, Far From Home, or the original one, Homestead, Home Away,
Homecoming?
Home Alone,
Homecoming.
Homecoming.
What you have you absolutely just been hibernating too long? What the hell, man?
I have been.
Homecoming.
Okay.
Anyway,
Homecoming.
that's one of the things they said they want to keep it in the Bronx and keep him out of New York. They didn't. They said that we'd seen all this before. So a lot of what they've been trying to do is keep Spider-Man in unfamiliar situations and avoid all the things that we've seen before. So I think that's what they're doing.
I think
So-
that's been working a lot in their favor. Because it makes it feel fresh. It makes it feel new. It's something you don't
Right.
see every day. You've seen him swing it. This was What? I mean,
You said swing.
swinging. Well, I was gonna say you've seen him swinging through, Metropolis or through New York City.
Metropolis?
Metropolis. I almost said it.
Okay.
See, you're throwing me off. Again, I'm sitting too close to you, and my words are getting messed up, and I really need to stop
Shut up.
doing this. Your big comeback for everything?
Yes.
Yes.
Good for you.
Today.
I'm waiting for you to say spasmatic.
What?
Yep.
See? It's infectious.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Telling you.
But I was doing it deliberately.
This is so craptacular. Continue.
That's a word.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good word. But yeah, it worked out really well. I loved the setting. This
Yes.
movie was great. I love the fact that it was, and I mean, on location.
Yeah.
They did a good job shooting everything. The idea of the school trip was fantastic.
Yes, it
and
was.
Everybody running around with them, the teachers as the chaperones. It was full of good humor. Let me ask a question. So, fans of the comics, right? And I mean, I don't want to presume that anybody watching this knows as much about some of the different characters as we do, right? Because I mean, I know a little bit, but not a whole ton. You guys are more experts on this than I am. But Mysterio, okay? How many people are familiar with Mysterio in the comics? What would you say? Would you say they know his role?
Yeah.
If you're a comic book fan, you know who Mysterio is.
You know his role. Now,
Yeah.
if you're not necessarily a comic book fan, but you know a little bit about the comics, or you've seen your child watching a cartoon would we say that they know?
If you
Mysterio?
grew up watching the '90s show and even the
Right.
Spectacular Spider-Man, then you know who Mysterio is.
So, do you think we can talk about that?
See that.
Have we seen any trailers?
What I would no. That's
we know?
This is what I would say.
What?
If you are a fan of the MCU, movies only,
Yeah.
this
You're not gonna know.
This movie is going to be shocking.
It is
to
gonna
you.
be shocking.
It's going to be surprising, and it's good.
Okay.
If you're a comic book fan, what's important here to remember is as a comic book fan, the build up to what you know should be happening is great to the point to where you almost don't. For a while, you forget that it could happen, even though you know deep down.
That's a good point.
Deep down, you know it's going to happen.
That's a good point.
But the movie has does a
we're
good
still,
way.
I don't even know that we've managed to keep the spoiler
Spoiler-free.
free.
We're trying. We're trying. But again, if you're
It's kind of driving me crazy. I really wish y'all would just say the spoilers. For Christ's sake.
Okay, how about this?
we're gonna do
5 more minutes. Yeah, 5 more minutes.
We're gonna do 5 minutes of spoilers. We will tell you guys when to kind of tune out,
So-
and we'll go into spoiler territory.
Okay, I haven't seen the movie. Let me, and if I'm kind of guessing where you are going with this, just from the trailers. Correct me. See if I'm kind of right.
Okay.
So you are hinting at that.
Potential spoilers starting in
Potential
3,
spoilers,
2, 1,
1,
go.
Okay, so you're hinting at Mysterio being good, and you know that he's not a good guy, or
Yes.
am I way off?
That's
Yes,
exactly it.
where we're going.
That's
Yes.
exactly it. So we all as
Cat's out
of the bag. So for the next 5 minutes, guys, we are in spoiler territory.
That's in the trailer though, so
It
it's really
is.
isn't
And that's
that
what I
much
was
of a-
thinking. I was asking. I didn't know if I couldn't remember if I saw a trailer where they kind of
They did.
show that.
Yeah.
They do, don't they?
They do, and so that's why watching the trailer, I'm
Okay.
like, well, that's obviously not right.
Because normally
he's-
they didn't do anything leading up to the release of the movie.
Yeah.
But now that the movie's been out for
But the movie does a great. It's 10 days. About 10
and
days.
So it's been out for this long
Yeah.
now, and that's what I thought. Normally what happens is once the movie's released and it's been out for a day or two, then they come out with a couple more trailers that
To kinda
show,
Yeah.
hey, for the people who didn't want to, who don't like to go in unknowing, right? Or somebody's
Of
like,
course.
they go, okay, let's tease the actual.
Is there enough of this to drag me into the theater?
Right, is there
Yeah.
enough to really get me to go see it? And so I really was under the impression they'd shown something where they reveal the Mysterio thing. Now, I don't want to go into say...
They really don't, though. In all the trailers, they don't necessarily... Again, if you are just a fan of the movies, if you are just a
wouldn't know.
casual
Yeah, you would know,
moviegoer,
yeah.
you're not going to know.
And they did a good job about that.
I'm gonna be honest. This is probably one of the most obscure major Spider-Man villains
Very.
they could have picked.
I thought so, too, yeah.
I honestly genuinely never thought we'd ever see a Mysterio.
And I never
movie.
did, too. And not,
Outside of
not
anything
just...
other than like some weird cameo kind of a thing.
Well, not just a weird cameo type thing, but also into the point where it's... how would I say this? Mysterio was never going to be a character that we could pull off and make it believable because it was so mind-blowing in the comics.
True.
On the stuff that he would do
True.
To Spider-Man,
The
that you
reality
just
bending
thought
that he did
it
to
would
him.
never, it shouldn't work.
And I got to say, when they showed Mysterio's powers in this movie. I was
Yeah.
like, I was just
Yeah,
blown-
bravo.
bravo.
Yeah.
Like, good job. The way they did it.
They
Yeah.
literally took comic pages and made Mysterio believable.
yes.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
made it
Yes.
credible, and the reasoning behind it was absolutely great.
So I've been seeing stuff online about people saying or suggesting that Mysterio is actually one of the greatest MCU villains so far in the movie. Like, obviously MCU.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about that?
Top 5.
Yeah, I'd
Top
say
five.
yeah,
Because-
he's easily top 5.
Because I mean, I thought
And a lot of that has to do with Gyllenhaal. I mean, he just
yeah,
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal,
However
whatever it is.
whatever.
Jake. A lot
Jake.
of it has to do with Jake from State Farm.
He was.
yeah, he rocked those khakis.
That's
I
not
mean, the
the
khakis
that's
in
not
there-
the discount double check, is it? Who
That
does
was
the
I think
discount?
that is a, is
Yeah,
that a discount?
yeah.
Discount double
Yeah.
check.
Was that the discount?
Yeah.
Which
You can't
which
do that.
Mysterio
That's
does
my-
midway through.
Yeah.
He does a discount.
Double check.
Double
yeah.
check. Yeah.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
probably one of my favorite little, since we've done it, I love the fact that one of Mysterio's costumes is that the same costume you see everyone wear for the green screens.
The mocap suits.
Yeah, the mocap suits.
Yeah.
I
Still,
love-
obviously, in spoiler territory,
Yeah.
which we're going to be
We're
wrapping
just
up.
getting- look, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
I love the fact that's basically his actual costume. And
Yeah.
I love that sort of feel they gave to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, no, that is easily my favorite aspect of it.
This has by far been number one. Was a character I never thought that they would bring to the universe for Spider-Man
Covered
because
that.
And bring him
Yeah.
right.
They couldn't do
Covered
it.
that.
and,
Yeah.
and then do it
And
right.
they do it right. Yeah.
But number two, to see Holland play off of everyone, I don't think we give Holland, and I know there are people out there that are doing that. I don't feel that really we give Holland enough credit for being as great an actor as he is.
Holland's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
And at such a young age, and then also
And let's not also he does
out of the mask a lot in this movie. If you
and
really
he,
think about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
he
I was
does
thinking about that, too.
most of his own stunts.
Yeah,
I
he
don't know if
does.
anybody
yeah.
else knows this, but I
Yep.
mean okay. So there's a Netflix show called Chef, and it's got
Yeah.
Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I think the first episode was Jon Favreau and not Holland, but
Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Bill Burr is on it as part of it, but it's him with the other guy that helped him do the actual movie that he made
Yeah.
called Chef.
Yeah.
Where Favreau was getting into being a chef and
Yeah.
doing a food truck thing.
Yeah.
And the guy that he's with, the two of them together, they got amazing chemistry. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. One of the first couple of shows, they were actually showing like Favreau and this guy, I forget his name all of a sudden. I wish I could remember. But he's got apparently an amazing taco truck out in California, or maybe it's in I don't remember where it is. Anyways,
you're spoiling the taco truck series.
the taco truck series. No, this is the first episode. There's nothing spoiled here. Anyways, so but they were shooting the first episode in
anybody else
between sets, in between
Why are you
takes.
cold?
I feel a little chilly.
Dude, you gotta.
He's not even barefoot today.
Yeah.
No, dude.
Huh.
Anyway,
Yeah, maybe it's just me.
good observation there, Jansen.
Very, very good.
Well, I am.
observation.
I have lost some weight, so maybe that's what's going on.
Okay.
You know.
But
I don't know, man.
anyways, they were shooting the first episode
what the-
in between takes of Far From Home and Endgame, like in different spots.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
Downey Jr.'s on there, and so is Tom Holland,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like at this big table sitting around eating, and they're having conversations about Tom Holland doing his first take for an interview on Spider-Man when they brought him in, and they were like, it was like his first casting call basically, and they said, he goes, well, what do you want me to do? How can I do this? And he's like, well, the scene says that Spider-Man backflips into the scene. He goes, you can't do a backflip, can you? He goes, yeah, sure, I can do that. And there's like, what? And so he's like, okay, try it. And so they come in and they get ready, and he literally just backflips in, and everybody, the casting call was like, Are you kidding me? Did he just do this? And they were like, that pretty much nailed in the role.
Seeing some of the
Favreau said he came into the hotel room and he was doing backflips off the walls and practicing somersaults, and he was like,
he's the behind the scene footage that they have for this.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I started looking for the wires
There are none.
because I was like,
No, there are
Is
none.
he attached to the wires? And then I realized he's just in the costume.
He's just in the costume.
practicing, making sure he's got all that stuff
and
down.
there are some scenes online where you'll see him with those tethers to
Yeah.
his sides,
Right.
But they're not lifting him or helping him at all. They're just there to make sure he doesn't fall out of bounds while he's practicing
Yeah.
those jumps.
Or he's doing something that humanly is impossible.
No, these are seriously.
No,
it's just him
him
doing him doing the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
Well,
there for his safety only, so that he doesn't fall off left or right and break something.
Right. Yeah. No, I know that. But what I'm saying is that obviously there is some stuff that he does that's wire work because it is superhuman. But beyond that,
I just realized Jason's actually wearing a bow tie today. I didn't even notice.
You didn't
that.
realize that?
I didn't notice that.
He classed it up, dude.
Why are you?
it took you this long to see that,
I didn't even think about it, man.
You
Dude.
don't pay any attention, do you, dude?
dude.
was
This is
freaking lost in
Spider-Man.
his
He
eyes,
is my.
man.
He is my.
Did you wear the bow tie for Spider-Man?
Of course.
Good call, man.
All
That's
right.
good. I like that.
I'm not.
This is my favorite
Yeah,
Spider-Man
it's just
movie
like your
thus far.
suspenders. You've always got that good
Yeah,
style,
I
dude.
guess
Thank you.
You've got a good, Baroque sort
I
of.
guess you're in costume today and in character today.
Yeah, these look
All
pretty
right,
good.
all right, fair enough. Then.
Anyway,
But the point of this being is, Holland is just amazing. The cast is amazing.
Yeah.
have you ever did you see him in lip sync battle?
I haven't.
Okay.
Oh,
I
haven't
seen the
I
lip
did.
sync
No,
battle.
I
Like
did
that right there is an excellent demonstration of how acrobatic he can be. That was amazing.
we have completely dovetailed
Yeah.
off Spider-Man. So
But we're on a Tom Holland gushing
Tom
session.
Holland, because man,
He's the best Spider-Man.
He's by far the best Spider-Man.
As of now, he has been he is the portrayal of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Much like Robert
Conroy.
Downey Jr. is the portrayal of
Iron Man.
Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and Iron Man.
Yeah, and Kevin
you know.
Conroy is Batman, and I get you.
No, shut up.
I didn't say that. Nobody
shut
said
up.
that.
No one said that at all.
No one said that.
This is when I can't take you seriously.
Kevin Conroy's Batman. You know it. I know it.
I love Kevin Conroy. I think he did a great job. I don't see him as Batman. Just shut up for a second. And I know I'm probably going to get some hate on that, but whatever.
That's what you should.
Anyway, but yeah.
Soulless
So this
gimp.
movie, dude, shut up.
Go back to your honeypot. Just chill
stop.
out, dude.
All right, it's cool. All right, boo boo, just stay there. The whole point of this, though, is that Far From Home is an amazing movie.
It was fun.
I do want to talk about this real quick because I was talking to Jason earlier this week, and I was thinking, we talk about because now the event that took everyone away in Infinity War was called the Snap.
Okay.
The event that's bringing everyone back is called the Blip.
The blip. Yeah. Well, no.
Well, no. The blip is the time in between.
Thank you. The blip is when everyone said they blipped.
Incorrect. I read an article last night.
All right.
Feige saying no. The return of everyone is what's actually known
Called
as the blip.
See,
Yes.
in the movie, the way it's made to
agree.
sound is
That the
they
blip
say they
was
blipped,
the
and the
5
blip was the
years.
5-year gap.
Yeah. No, they're going to say that the Snap. It is. They've
Again,
relented.
I'm sorry, but again, are we not hashing over pointless, ridiculous details?
Is that not what the show's about?
No, but it.
Anyway,
It doesn't ruin the movie.
doesn't,
whatever.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't make it
All I'm
any-
saying is you got a 5-year gap, and that is known, so we're not spoiling anything.
Ma'am,
But-
he blipped. Technically, he's only
Yeah.
18.
Which,
That
that
and-
was a spoiler.
Yeah.
That and I love Led Zeppelin. Sorry,
I
dude.
was so mad at that when I was
bet
laughing.
you were.
That was
I was
yeah.
like, oh my
You were
god, what are you
pissed.
doing?
You work for Spider-Man? I work with Spider-Man. Or my favorite one is the wife. Well, I thought my wife blipped away, but turns out she
faked her
Turns
death.
out
Yeah,
she just
yeah.
faked her death and
So she
ran off with some guy. You want to see
with her-
pictures?
Yeah, from her what was it, yoga or
Yeah.
Pilates class?
We had a fake wedding. Well, it was or a fake
Fake
funeral.
funeral.
Well, it was a real funeral, but
Yeah.
we didn't
It
know
was
at
a
the
real
time.
funeral, but at the time. So the acting was great. The humor was great. Everything.
The way they did Mysterio's powers was fantastic.
Brilliant. Yeah,
Fantastic.
and I think I think this is
The
actually
believability of it all.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I
'cause,
think this is-
visually speaking, it was really good.
Oh, yeah.
But getting to see how you're like, okay, I get it. You know?
But I think this is one of those things where this is why Mysterio worked in this movie versus, like, say, the standalone films, right?
Is this not a standalone film?
Well,
It's moments like this where I just can't take you seriously.
Well, just shut up and let me actually talk for a second.
Fine,
What I
go.
mean is, again, like the Sam Raimi trilogy or the Amazing Spider-Man trilogy, Mysterio wouldn't have worked. But he works in this movie because it's part of a larger universe where things like this have already been established, right? So the idea that there are these... again, if I say it, it's going to spoil the movie, right? Okay, so are we still in spoiler territory?
No, but I'm just doing it now to piss you off.
Bite me. Okay,
You're gonna growl at me? Shut up.
Mysterio's powers work in this film because there's a broader understanding of the technology that's happening, right, in the film that's already been pre-established.
Okay.
And so, whereas with Like say,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Had you gone into if you just gone into Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2, and all of a sudden you throw in Mysterio, everybody's gonna go, "How the hell is this possible?"
Right.
I understand.
But now
he's set up. I get it. He's made a very valid point. Which
is why Mysterio works.
Yeah, it's fair. And I also, because if memory serves me correctly, they were saying all the Bruce Campbell cameos in that Sam Raimi film period, he was actually supposed to be Quentin Beck.
Oh,
That's what they were saying. So they were setting up, and
they were getting ready for it. Huh?
I could not.
I'm glad they didn't.
Exactly.
Really glad they didn't.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't see Bruce Campbell playing this character at all.
No, and especially after Gyllenhaal has done the job now.
Yeah.
Because he did a great job. I really do. I understand why people are saying one of the greatest villains, if not the.
Oh,
because
easily.
he did a great job.
I don't think he's the greatest.
No,
villain.
I didn't say that. I said I understand why people say that.
Gotcha.
I disagree. I don't think he's the greatest. I still think that
He's
Thanos,
easily
in my
top
opinion,
five,
is
yeah.
still the best because
Killmonger.
not only is he
Yeah.
the villain, he's still also the hero in his own way because of his own mind.
And I think Jason just said, I think my top two would probably be Thanos and Killmonger.
And Killmonger, yeah, Thanos, Killmonger.
Rounded out by three is Loki.
I would say Thanos, Killmonger, and Zemo.
Yeah,
Those are
I
my
was saying the
top
same
three.
thing.
Zemo, because Zemo was an
okay.
ordinary guy. Besides being that infiltrated soldier, do you know what I'm saying?
Thank you for saying something that I do want to bring up.
Oh,
this
here
is
we
going
go.
to be spoiler.
Okay. Still in spoiler territory,
this
Jason.
is
Sorry.
absolutely spoiler. And then we're done with spoils. If you had just killed Tony Stark at the end of the first Avengers, you save a lot of people's lives. Because my God, is this man responsible for half of the major villains?
Yeah.
Tony Stark?
Yes. Think about this movie. You think about what's went on. Tony
Oh.
Stark had to make Spider-Man who he was to help him because he screwed with this kid's life for the rest of his days.
Yeah, that's true.
I
I guess
mean-
that's true. I understand that.
So my top four villains, Tony Stark being number 4.
Yeah.
Tony Stark being number
Well, technically,
4.
Tony Stark may be number 3.
He may be number 3.
Actually, he may be number 2. He goes Thanos, Tony Stark, Killmonger, Zemo, Quentin Beck, then Loki, then
because
Zemo.
we don't have as many problems without Tony Stark.
Well, that's
all I'm saying.
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Ultron was completely his fault.
Well, not entirely. Okay. I no, because what we already established in Age of Ultron that they were building his body.
Like a Build-A-Bear?
Yeah, like a Build-A-Bear.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Ultron was always going to manifest. It just so happened that it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
That was the whole point. When they
How
invaded
is
the
he
castle.
always? How is he always going to manifest unless Tony Stark had messed with things?
Remember?
Nope.
Okay.
I said I don't remember.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. At the beginning of Age of Ultron, when they're going after Strucker's castle,
Okay.
right? That one of the things that Tony Stark talks about is all of this equipment in that castle that looked way beyond anything Hydra had access to, right?
Yeah. Wasn't it part of the? Was it part of the Tesseract? It was as a result of the invasion from the first.
From the first one, and
Yes.
their experimentation on the staff itself.
But at least
Right.
it wouldn't have been Tony Stark creating it.
What I'm
Right,
saying.
but
No,
my whole point
okay.
is Tony Stark doesn't become Iron Man. And
Yeah.
if he dies at the end of Iron Man 1, there's no one
I
there
didn't
to
say
stop.
Iron Man 1, I said Avengers.
Okay, if he dies at the end of Avengers, there is no one to stop Hydra from creating Ultron.
But Hydra wasn't trying to create
weren't trying to
Ultron.
create Ultron.
No one
They
was
were trying
trying
to-
to create Ultron. Ultron was a byproduct of the staff.
No,
which
it
is why.
wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, it wasn't. They
What?
were knocking
No,
on that door,
no.
which they specifically say in Ultron.
Yes.
Yeah.
But look, but it's beside the point. Look at me in my eyes. Okay?
I am.
So here's the thing. No, because it goes back to we're talking about. You're going and dovetailing into why you think
Make a
Ultron
point.
would be creative. Shut up. You think about why Ultron would be created later on. Tony Stark still had direct influence. If you want to go back to the comics, Pym still had direct influence into what he was going to do. Just like in the movie, Tony Stark had direct influence into creating Ultron because Ultron as a program was not done by Hydra.
No,
it was done
no.
specifically by Tony Stark and Banner, and they were trying to create that.
And they based it off of the idea of Jarvis.
That's exactly
Initially,
right.
that's and nobody else had Jarvis technology. So it's not that Voltron was inevitable. You can't
Voltron.
say that.
Yeah.
You
Voltron.
Ultron. I
Voltron
forgot that
wasn't
Ultron.
When the
Voltron
Lions
wasn't
unite, Voltron will happen, whether Tony Stark's there or not.
Don't be jealous of the Lions. I
just want a lion.
They truly are the king of the
King of
jungle.
the Jungle.
The mighty jungle.
No, we've told you about singing. Don't ever sing. I don't care how cute you look today. You are not allowed to sing. All that to say, we all love Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Superb acting by everyone involved.
Yeah, it was good.
And I love the fact that they continue the John Hughes feel to this film.
That's what I've been trying to get to this whole time.
Yeah,
this was a John Hughes film with superpowers. That's all it was. It's beautiful.
It was good.
One last point I'll make on this, and I thought it was really interesting. In the story, there's a tiny, tiny little subplot that's going on through this entire thing that involves Flash Thompson.
Yes.
Where are his folks?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who is his dad? Who is his mom? Mm-hmm. If I'm Sony, I am begging Marvel to sit there and say that his dad, and this is not my idea, it's just something that I saw on Reddit, but it makes perfect sense. Let his dad be the guy from Venom. The bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Please, God, let that be his father and cross this group over with Venom.
That's a good.
I hadn't even made that connection.
Oh my
bridge.
gosh!
That's a good
I
bridge.
just want to see it happen.
That could be really. Yeah, that would be good.
The entire time he's sitting there. Hey, where's Dad? Well, no one's heard from Dad. Okay, well, is Mom here to pick me up? No one knows from Mom. I don't think they're going to go that way, but you have an opening to bridge Venom into the storyline.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I would love to see that because in the comics, even Flash eventually gets to where
the
Venom symbiote.
Yeah, he becomes Agent Venom.
Yeah.
So it's there, and
I love the actor who does Flash.
Yeah.
He does such a good job with him.
Yeah.
Just enough of an annoying school bully, but still likable as an actor and a character.
Yeah.
So really good job on him too.
Is this the first movie he's in?
No, he was the first one.
He was in the other one.
He was in the other one.
He DJ'd the party at MJ's house and did some other stuff too.
But
he was always the
not
bully.
MJ.
That was not MJ.
No,
I'm sorry.
That
was I messed up her name. What? It doesn't matter.
I just forget. Yeah.
The Vulture's daughter, basically.
But to that point too, though, it's just that you don't know. You just know he comes from a rich background.
Very rich background.
It was set up pretty obvious that the villain in Venom was going from coast to coast. He was very rich.
Yeah.
It's a completely different name, but I think you could work around that.
You can work it around it. I think you can sit there and say that he uses his mom's name, whatever the case
exactly.
Again, it's very
that could be very interesting.
You have a potential tie there that I would love to see.
Mm-hmm.
Very potential. So
okay, I like that idea.
I would love to see it because I want to see both Toms acting against each other. I think with Holland's quirkiness as Spider-Man and actually, I forgot the other Tom's last name.
Hardy,
with his quirkiness that he brings to Venom.
Yeah,
I think that would make for a really interesting.
Yeah, that could be good. I could see them going further on the Lethal Protector idea.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
With Holland in that role,
especially with how this movie ended.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
I would love to see this.
Well, and not just.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting. That would also.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, of course, you have the secret ending, which was, amazing.
That's the ending I was talking about, especially with that ending.
Yes, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Wait.
Because let's put it this way.
Wait, the one in downtown New York or the other one?
No. The one in downtown New York. I don't. The very last end credit scene to me was more of that MCU setup.
Yeah, it's a setup for Phase 4.
Yeah.
But the actual Spider-Man movie. First off, this is such the classic Peter Parker storyline where you're going to get everything you've always wanted.
Pretty much.
Nope. Yeah. Just effing with you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's beautifully done.
But this is so this to me is why I didn't think it felt like the end to this first go round for Marvel. It really felt like a beginning of a new movie, not a beginning of a new franchise. You know what I'm saying? So it felt like felt like the beginning of a new setup. Yep. And that's I wish they had just left Endgame as it was.
Well,
Endgame's that we're done. Let's start with fresh with Far From Home, and I get their idea behind it with the whole this is putting that closure on Tony Stark's absence, right? And they deal with that in the film.
Very much.
Very much so. With the scene with Happy, and that's such a great scene. With Hap, but. No, just going through that, I still felt like it was the beginning. It should have been the beginning to another movie. Versus,
well, I think it's the epilogue. I agree with Ray on this.
I get the epilogue idea. It just felt otherwise to me.
You can be wrong.
I can, all the time. There's nothing wrong with that.
what was? Oh! The one thing I did. Right. Was there something else you wanted to talk about on this? There was something you wanted me to remind you to talk about.
We were touched
Okay,
on
cool. My thought is this is also how you get Miles Morales in the
Marvel
universe much faster.
Yeah, because we talk about. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I was thinking about it more last night, and I don't know if it would work. But basically, during this 5-year absence, this is kind of that rise. Morales doesn't leave. That's how I would do it. I would put the fact that
Morales fills the shoes of.
Well, no, it's just in the whole 5-year gap, Morales. And what I would say is to build that connection between him and his uncle, which we did see in Homecoming. Okay. So we know that Prowler / Donald Glover's character in that is around. We know Miles Morales is around. But what I would say though is that if I was going to do a Miles Morales storyline, is I would say during this 5-year gap, his parents got snapped. Mm-hmm. He's being raised by his uncle. The blip brings everyone back. But I would also say that during the snap, during the last snap that's made in Endgame,
okay,
I would preference it with the Stark
snap.
It's the Stark snap.
Preference. You would preference it.
Shut up. I would say this. He wanted to make sure that Parker was always going to be okay because he didn't want to see him lose again.
Who's he?
Tony.
Gotcha.
And so when the last snap is made, not only was it meant to take out whoever it was going to take out, but to also protect Parker. But somehow, in some different way, whatever cosmic universe power that takes it for the snap, it gave those powers to somebody else, or gave the wish for Tony, Parker,
so like
to Morales instead.
I understand.
And so you kind of have this whole build-up that Morales just when everyone comes back during the blip, he's also like, what is going on? What are all these powers?
That idea of powers being granted at the same time could be a very good door for the introduction to a lot of other characters.
Yeah, like the mutants.
The mutants.
Yeah, that could be a very, very good doorway to open and acknowledge them.
Well, again, my thought is in the comics, moving forward, one of the big complaints I'd had with Civil War in the comics was they had perfectly set up for Tony Stark to take over S.H.I.E.L.D. and for Spider-Man to take over Stark Industries. But they changed that in the original comics.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, they didn't do it, and it's one of those things that I've always thought was a stupid move on Marvel because it allowed all these characters to grow. Well, flash forward, and once they made Miles Morales part of the traditional MCU 616 universe, Peter Parker created his own, while he was under control by Dr. Octopus, creates his own company and becomes basically the new Iron Man. And what they can do with this is now that basically they've already said Spider-Man is the new Iron Man. That is the theme of this movie, is that that's what's happening. You can now move him on and just make him the Iron Spider, and then you still have room for Morales. And you've given a perfect way for that to coexist. You can have Morales tell your traditional Peter Parker stories about street-level criminals, and then you have Spider-Man as an Avenger.
Within the broader MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. It's how they can go forward with this. I think Marvel Studios gets it. They're like, you know what? We don't want to reboot everything really quick. We have this plan. We'll see it. I think we'll see Phase 4 and 5 go more into a cosmic type thing. We know the Eternals are on their way,
which I am hella excited for.
And did you just use hella?
Yeah,
I did.
Okay, all right. But I would love to see how it kind of plays out. But I think it's the right move. I think this is we don't want to keep rebooting our own actors. We know there's going to be a limited amount of time for all these actors to play certain roles. So rather than just replacing it and James Bonding it or Batmaning it,
right?
We're going to let this play out as a natural story. So everything feels more completed and more completion. That's why I love how Tony Stark's arc was wrapped up. And I love the fact that they let, if we are looking at this as the end of Phase 3, which everyone has said we are, then you see it started with Jon Favreau's vision. And it was nice to see that he was in the last one as well. Because Jon Favreau started this whole thing with, yes, I can give you Iron Man. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
But then they also gave him a nice little, you know what, you're going to be at the end too. But because we're not, without you and your directing.
You wouldn't have had the rest of this 10 years.
We owe
this
you
idea
everything.
that you said that you guys have been rolling with for 10 years.
Yeah.
is his reason. That's
Yeah.
you know.
So I
I love how they played Happy in this movie. Him and Aunt May
yeah.
was
Yeah.
that was my favorite part of one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. Is just how that relationship played out, and that scene at the end was brilliant.
Yeah, that was fun.
Like I'm trying to
was
keep
fun.
that one vague.
Yeah.
Okay, one just quick comment.
Mm-hmm.
And again, not really a spoiler thing, but the final fight scenes with Spider-Man versus the villain, it is easily not just him and the villain itself, but him versus the broader villain powers. I thought it was brilliantly done. Trying to see if I can do this without spoilers, but the way they were using his intelligence and his abilities in the same way they would in the comics.
When they finally
on the bridge,
they finally got to that, and you know what? That's something they've only shown in. There's one scene in Infinity War.
Yeah,
when he's
that
on the
even hints
bus.
at it.
Yeah.
That even hints at it.
Yeah, his spider or his Peter Tingle.
I love it. Kevin
wonder if you were gonna
Smith
say
with
that.
when he was sitting there saying that he goes it took a bit. He goes, but then I realized like 30 minutes into the movie, I'm like, oh my god, is Disney doing dick jokes now?
Yeah.
Dick jokes now.
But yeah, so it was this movie, everything about it.
It was fun.
It was fun.
This is a great movie to see in the theater. For sure.
John Watts, director.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see. I'm
Quick, tell me something only Happy would know.
Yeah.
So everything about this movie, it was it's a nice palate cleanser after
Endgame.
after something so serious.
Yeah, it is. It's
know.
it's lighthearted, it's fun, but it still has its serious
Well,
and
it was.
tense moments.
Yeah.
It was lighthearted.
And no, it's a great movie. I like it. It's a really good
Yeah.
movie.
It was
Yeah.
good.
Go see it in the theater if you get the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got 10 minutes left, and so we're now going out of Spider. Go see Spider-Man. It's awesome. I love what they're doing with it. I never thought I'd say this. I hope Tom Holland does another 10 years worth of Spider-Man. I'd absolutely love to see.
Again,
this
I
character
really
grow and go.
I don't want to see another. I don't want to see another phase like or 3 phases like what we went through. I don't want to see this 10-year arcing epic. I want to see.
Oh, and they said that they will.
I know,
Yeah.
and I really hope they continue to live up to that because I just want to see stories.
Yeah. You did your 10-year arc. You've wrapped it.
You've
You've
yes.
done
Just
something no
keep-
one else has ever
keep-
done. Just
keep it small.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah,
them
yeah,
small,
you've got
keep them
that.
contained.
That checkbox has been filled. Let's move on to nice stories now.
No one's gonna touch those.
No one's
10
gonna
years.
come and do that again. That's not happening.
Kim, you're good. We just stopped spoilers, by the way. All right. So with 10 minutes left in the show, what I do want to go into is we are coming up in October on the 35th anniversary of the very first Terminator movie.
Then why don't we talk about it then?
Because I want to talk about it a little bit now.
Because we're gonna talk a little bit about it now.
Because I want to talk about it now. Shut up, man. I mean, just
Because we touched on,
freaking unbearable. Some
we
days,
we
that?
touched on a previous topic of nostalgia on the last show, and why not?
Yeah. So I mean, and also what brings it up is the fact that San Diego Comic Con's coming up, and we know that there's going to be new footage shown from the
Dark Fate.
Dark Fate.
Okay.
But I do, because we are coming up on 35 years, I want to go back to that original one and just.
Dark Fate of the Furious.
Oh my gosh, God no.
The Rock's in it. Awesome. He's the new Terminator.
Yeah, he really is.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
That would actually be fine. That would be no problem.
But just the first Terminator, man. Good God, I love this movie.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that I watched way too young, but
Yeah.
still I loved it even when I was younger seeing it, and I grew up with it. That again, and for me again the theme. It's always music for me. That just like music is what roots me in something, and that intro and the main it's always there, and so it was. It's a fantastic movie.
Well, and the first part of the movie where they're actually showing the future war
Yeah.
for a good 5 minutes.
Man, I can't tell you how many times I ran outside with Nerf toys pretending to play that scene or those.
Pretending to be John Connor?
No, I was never. No, I'm not.
He was
the
always
leader.
the Terminator.
Well,
no, I
what
wasn't.
I
That
was-
Die,
wasn't,
humans!
What
wasn't
I was
that either.
gonna
I was
say
just a
is-
random soldier. I would never purport to be John Connor. I'm never.
Oh,
no.
wow.
Well, Christian Bale said the same thing. He would never purport
He would never purport
to
to
be.
be John Connor. But looking back on this though, man, I love this movie, and I know that we're getting Linda Hamilton and Arnold back for Dark Fate.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the first, and everyone always talks about, oh my gosh, I love T2, and this
T2 was an
fantastic
amazing
sci-fi flick.
Again, yes, I know that, and technically so is Terminator 1.
Terminator 1 plays a lot more like a horror flick.
It does, and it also plays. I think it had to due to the limitations of the technology in the 80s when it was done.
Yeah.
That's just part of it. So but there's nothing wrong with that. It was amazing. It was good.
Well, I think that actually made it. I think that made it a better story.
I think the story was great, but I also think though that even with the limitations of special effects then, I know, right? The underlying song there.
Yeah.
But the special effects they did for this, it still holds up.
They were still groundbreaking at the time, and they were amazing. Yeah, they were good.
And yes, so does T2. But for me, my favorite movie is always going to be the first Terminator.
I don't.
In the series.
I don't necessarily have a favorite between the two. I kind of like both of them equally because of their own merits, right? When you see the T-1000 and you see, and I all of a sudden his name escapes me, the guy who played
Kyle
him.
Reese.
No.
Oh, you mean the guy who played him?
The guy who played the Terminator, the liquid Terminator, and
Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick, thank you.
Even though we're talking about Terminator 1.
I'm talking about how I like both, so quiet down, right? It's okay.
You've got dead eyes too.
Yeah, it's fine. I know, I'm Catholic.
Oh.
So, that was an amazing thing because of the idea of the new breed of a Terminator.
Right.
And that's what it's so to me it's this whole separate film, and it was amazing seeing the Terminator now on their side working with them. Whereas the first one was just like you said, you're right, definitely more of a horror feel of a flick. They're running from.
It's an unstoppable killing machine.
Yeah, and they're running from this unstoppable.
And you genuinely
you put a mask on this guy, it's
Jason Voorhees.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's true. Pretty much.
But I think my favorite part of that is when he's trying to explain what this thing is and what he's doing.
It will never stop.
It will never stop.
Yeah.
And then you get to the end when you finally have all of that flesh burned off of Arnold.
You see that.
And you see just this, and it's this skeleton, and it's this metal skeleton thing.
Yeah.
Just walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is so profoundly disturbing the first time you see it.
Mm-hmm.
And there really hadn't been, the closest thing to that had been, like, say, Voyage of Sinbad, right? Where you have all the skeletons show up that Ray Harryhausen did, and they're fighting the skeletons.
Wow, I would never have been like, what I think of when I watch Terminator?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like
Voyage of Sinbad. That's what always comes to mind.
Well, that's my whole point.
I know what he's thinking.
I know what he's saying.
He's talking about
I know the stop motion technology
Yeah,
used.
and you have these skeletons, but outside of that context, where it's this high adventure, everyone's going to be safe. Boom! Here is this metal thing coming for you, and it's because it looked like something more that was fit for like a horror film versus a sci-fi action film.
Mm-hmm.
I think
he's so cuddly when he's talking about this.
I'm always cuddly.
You ever notice that?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Look,
you're interrupting. I was listening to what he was saying.
Sorry.
You're really good at that.
Pretty much
I
know. Anyway, point being is, yes, it is. You see that that you see the endoskeleton.
Look,
for the
he cares
first time.
about this a lot.
Like a Care Bear?
Yeah, you can see it.
Oh, okay. You okay? You want to finish now?
You want a hug?
I would very much like a hug.
I bet you would like a hug.
Yes, actually.
We'll hug after.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll come over and give you a big bear hug.
I don't even remember what I was going to say.
I'll give him a big bear hug.
Give him a big bear hug.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm done. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Don't look at me, man.
We were on the topic of T1, so
I got you.
Yeah.
Anyway, bottom line is, 35 years this movie still holds up.
Yeah.
I am cautiously
optimistic
about Dark Fate. I don't.
I've given up all hope.
My thing is, I'm excited to see the actors they've got in it, but again, I've been excited for the actors that I've seen coming into this franchise leading up to this point.
Either really quick, either no one watches this or everyone is so prepared for anything that we do on the show that they don't bring anything up.
That could be that.
I think it's
that. I think it's the fact that no one actually watches this.
Go ahead, man.
I'm going to say I've already lost hope in this movie.
Uh-huh.
Just from the trailer that I saw. Because when people are hanging on to the sides of planes and flying through the air and doing something that is so... Look, no, I get it. I get it. No, you don't. No.
That's what it is, though.
But
you've got to up it.
Hold on, though. Listen, what I'm trying to say is that's the misconception.
Yes,
you
I
don't
agree
always
with you.
you don't always have to turn it up to 11 and break off the knob. You don't have to do that. And if you're gonna do that, do it in the right way. Don't just show me something to make it, oh, look, this is even more visually stimulating. It's like, well, I don't care. I've already been visually stimulated. Show me something else. Play into a story.
Sometimes
give me some character work. And like
you can do a lot with practical effects.
You don't have to blow it up, whereas you can dive into it and make it. Practical effects is a perfect way to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, when they came out with the Mad Max, they redid Mad Max Fury, or not redid, but when they did Fury Road,
could be as simple as replacing someone with just something normal.
Yeah, and they made Mad Max not the main theme. They played it on all the other people. He was just a character in the story, and then blowing up all the cars. I mean, that was all a lot of that was practical effects. Some of it wasn't, but a lot of it was. They relied more on that.
Well, I think
even with T2. The helicopter going into the back of the
but that was a helicopter that flew into the back of a truck and backed out.
It was practical.
It was practical.
And you see them going that, and yeah, you're right. I mean, you see that.
It was
plane
a lot
sequence.
easier. Dude, I saw that plane sequence.
Let me ask you a question: Would you be okay if it was only
look, live for your
like a minute of the film? Like it's just a quick how they're getting to somewhere, or would it still bother you?
And that's it. It's fine. I just don't think that's gonna be. I've seen the previews. I feel like they're gonna do what you just said. It's gonna be bigger and better, and I think that's their idea, and that worries me. So I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm not gonna write it off because I'm still gonna want to see it. I probably won't go see it in theaters unless it's getting like amazing reviews.
So basically, what you're gonna do is you're gonna wait for me and Jason to go see it, and then.
Oh, are you guys gonna go see it? You guys are gonna go see it in the theater?
I'll go see it in the theater
at some point.
I've seen.
I'm not
the first one. I've seen all of them at the theater.
I'm not invested. Let me put it
Fair
that
enough.
way. I'm not
That's
invested. If I go see it in the theater, great. But if I'm gonna go, it's gonna be a couple weeks after, and I'll probably go catch it at like a studio movie or a movie tavern, and just have a meal and drink a beer and watch I might be entertained, right?
Well,
are you not entertained? That would be good.
Are you not?
But I'm not going into it thinking this is going to be a Terminator 1 or a T2.
Well, I think the problem is what we've seen with Genesis, and now what we're seeing in the trailers for Dark Fate is the transition from a well thought out science fiction horror film into a superhero film, and that's exactly what Genesis was. It was Casablanca with a happy ending. Okay.
And we don't. I'll tell you what. I want to bring that up again, but not on the show because we're out of time.
Okay.
I can't wait because after the show, I'm gonna give you a great giant bear hug, dude. But why don't you sign us out, bro?
Well, thank you for the 2 or 3 people who are watching today.
Yes.
5. Thank you to the 5 people who put up with us today. If you would like to get a hold of us in between the next time we show up, you can get us at vagabondnerds@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, vagabondnerds.com, or you can go to our Facebook site, Vagabond. Again, just go to Facebook, type up Vagabond Nerds, and look for our stupid faces.
Or our very huggable faces.
Or our very huggable faces.
That's true.
This is true. All right. Well, in that case,
love y'all 3.
Yeah, all 5 of y'all, be good, and we'll see y'all later.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Thanks, Jansen.